Started hearing some whistles, and when I looked out, I saw two fully uniformed Customs and Border Patrol agents tackling a guy to the ground, literally in my front yard right here.
Unbelievable.
Dropped the tear gas, rolled the windows back up, and then continued on driving. And like, mind you, there's a school 2 blocks down the road this way. There, like, people were walking their dogs. Children get walked frequently up and down here during the school day. It's a Friday, like in the middle of the day, you know.
Witnesses say crowds gathered along the tree-lined avenues, chanting, holding signs, demanding answers. Organizers insist the demonstration was peaceful, a daytime rally meant to be visible to the whole city. Speakers took the makeshift stage. People sang. Parents stood nearby, phones raised, recording history. Then everything changed. Without much warning, clouds of white smoke rolled across the intersection. The smell hit first, a chemical bite that made eyes water and lungs sting. People blinked, hands flew to faces, mothers scooped up children. The chorus of chants dissolved into coughing and confusion.
They're not criminals, and they're human beings deserving decent treatment and respect.
Some video shows uniformed federal agents moving into the crowd, helmets glinting under the sun.
Be easy. Do not resist. Say that.
7 years old. Dude, what is he doing? He's suffocating. Dude, I'm a fucking lawyer. I'm a fucking lawyer. What are you doing?
Officers ordered people back. Loud commands echoed between buildings. A line of demonstrators tried to hold ground while others stumbled away, blinded and disoriented. Why would they do this in daylight? One witness asked, speaking between coughs.
Nobody was being violent. No one had weapons. Although I wasn't close to where they used the gas, I never heard them announce that they were going to use it or anything like that. So, yeah, it was a pretty upsetting situation for a lot of people. I mean, you can see there's kids on the block right now. There were kids out on the block when it happened.
Neighbors who didn't wish to interview on camera called the situation traumatizing. Culp says while he's shocked this happened in his quiet neighborhood, he can't say he was surprised.
There were kids everywhere. Officials say agents deployed chemical irritants after objects were thrown, and a small group began to push against a secured perimeter. Authorities claim the action was necessary to disperse those creating immediate danger.
Then it went from there to clashes with individuals that were, they call it protesting, I call it rioting.
Meantime, in Broadview tonight, 100+ gathered outside the processing center for an evening protest, demanding a stop to deportations.
But video shared online tells a more complicated story. Many participants remained peaceful as the gas spread. Storefronts shuttered. A delivery driver abandoned his truck. People who had come for a normal afternoon suddenly found themselves caught in an escalating scene, ambulances arriving, neighbors handing out water, and volunteers trying to lead people to safety. Paramedics treated dozens for respiratory distress. Burning eyes and panic-related injuries. A local clinic reported an overflow of people seeking help. Social media filled with eyewitness clips. Shaky phones capturing the panic in raw real-time, scarves pressed to faces, crowds pushing towards side streets, an elderly man coughing on a stoop. City leaders rushed to respond. Within hours, the mayor's office released a statement urging calm and calling for a full review of the incident. "We demand transparency," a spokesperson said. Use of force in residential neighborhoods requires public explanation. At the same time, a federal agency's brief update defended the deployment. Saying officers acted to stop violence and protect public safety, the clash in Irving Park raised immediate questions about proportionality and planning. Why use chemical agents in a densely populated daytime neighborhood? Could organizers and law enforcement have reached a safer compromise? And perhaps most painfully, how many families were put at risk on an ordinary afternoon? As the sun slid lower, cleanup crews swept canisters and residue from the sidewalks, while residents opened windows against the lingering sting. Neighbors gathered, trading stories and footage. Some accused federal forces of overreach. Others warned that crowds had crossed an unspoken line. In the days after, community groups organized peaceful vigils in Irving Park, not as a response of rage, but as a collective call for answers. People placed flowers near a lamppost where the crowd had been densest. Children drew chalk hearts on the pavement. The image of a neighborhood healing by holding hands played out across the same streets where gas had choked the air. Legal advocates called for footage release and body camera transparency. Journalists pressed for timelines and decision logs. And in local cafes, conversations turned to policy. What rules govern agents' use of force in public, and how can civilians be protected during public demonstrations? Irving Park's daytime protest exposed something deeper than a single tactical choice. It revealed the raw tension that flares when crowds gather to be seen and when authorities decide to act in full view of ordinary life. It asked whether safety can be balanced with the right to assemble, and whether residents should have to worry about being caught between those two forces. For many who were there, the memory of that afternoon will not come from a headline but from the small, human details, the way a neighbor helped a coughing child, the bottled water pressed into shaking hands, the way people chanted again, softer after the cloud lifted. They will remember the sun on the street and the sudden sense that something ordinary had been interrupted. Irving Park is still picking up the pieces, the sidewalk cleaned, the canisters collected, the statements filed. But the neighborhood's questions remain. How will officials explain the choice to use chemical dispersal on a busy daytime residential avenue? Will there be accountability? And will residents feel safe to protest again in daylight? In the weeks to come, the footage will be analyzed, press conferences will be held, and legal filings will appear. But the image that will linger is simple and stubborn. A sunny afternoon turned into a scene of confusion, where ordinary people, kids, shopkeepers, and families were forced to choose between staying to be heard and fleeing to be safe. This is what Irving Park remembers. Not just the tear gas itself, but the cost of that choice made in broad daylight. And until the answers come, that neighborhood, and many like it across Chicago, will weigh the meaning of protest against the price of safety,